Why do I like anime? This is a question I've been thinking about lately. I'd like to say it's because of the storytelling in them, and for the most part, it is. But what I think is a big part of what makes that storytelling work is the visuals. Anime owes a lot of its appeal to visuals. I'm sure that a lot of anime fans got into anime from some kind of visually distinct show. When you're flipping through TV channels or looking through a streaming service, anime really stands out due to its visual presentation. In my eyes, a lot of anime owns a shit ton of its appeal to visuals. And the show that really got me thinking about how important anime visuals are was One Punch Man Season 2. Holy fuck, does Season 2 of One Punch Man look drastically worse. This is mostly due to a complete switch of studios and staff, but the impact is very obvious. What used to look like kinetic laser-filled death matches now feel like a set of flimsy stills smacking against each other. But despite all of this, all the storytelling is still as fantastic as ever, because it's still following the blueprint of the manga. So why does it feel less funny and impactful? It's because One Punch Man's identity was so tied to its visual style ever since the beginning. It started its life as a comic done by a total art novice, giving all the panels these funky, weird, fugly appeal. And when that work was adapted by Yusuke Murata into a visual masterclass in comic storytelling, the drastic change in style was another thing that added to the appeal of the narrative. All of this accumulating in one of the most visually stunning anime of the last 20 years created a unique and fantastic viewing experience. So to go from that to the visually boring and stale second season is an incredible disappointment. A lot of One Punch Man's visual identity was built into its overall identity ever since the original sketchy style by the creator One. And to lose that part of its identity is to lose part of what made it thematically poignant. Even though Season 2 is still telling the same story, it feels so much more empty without its visual identity. So I don't like being overly negative, so let's talk about some animes that I think have really unique and special visual identities. Let's talk about a show which I think mastered having a unique visual identity. Death Note. Death Note could have easily been a boring show of people sitting and talking to each other, but by using over-the-top camera work and evocative color use, it transforms every conversation that's held into something that's a visual spectacle. Whenever characters monologue to themselves, all the other characters become monochromatic and the scene turns dark. This immediately grabs the viewer's attention and forces them to give a shit about whatever is being said. And the show is full of color use and camera techniques that grab attention and the imagination of the viewers. I mean, just look at the second opening. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of color use. I even know how I am supposed to feel about it. Anyway, Death Note is a good example of how anime visuals can be used for dramatic dialogue. When you look at a lot of the most popular anime in existence, they all have incredibly unique visual identities. Even anime that you don't think have outstanding animation can still have visuals that bring out the show's identity. Even if an anime has the generic anime aesthetic, things like character design can really make a show stand out. Oh Jesus, that's a whole video. Character design. Okay, let's keep on topic. Visual identity makes something stick with the viewer a long time after the show has ended. Another show with a fantastic visual identity is Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt. The whole show's visual identity is built around nonsensical insanity. Every episode feels like a unique showcasing in different animation styles and techniques, leading every episode to be incredibly unique and memorable. Like seriously, the show is unbelievable sometimes. A lot of shows produced by Gainax have the same kind of visually chaotic style that leads to them being very captivating. And luckily that seems to be something that still holds true to Studio Trigger. Every anime, no matter how big or small, has a visual identity. Question is whether it does enough with that identity to be memorable. If you look at the top 50 anime on my anime list, They all have very unique visual identities that leads to them having an imprint on the viewer's mind. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that every anime has to be a Sakuga fest for it to be good. For a good example of an anime that has very limited animation but a unique aesthetic, look at JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Also, before I say anything, what I'm about to say only applies to Part 4 and earlier, since Part 5 has a new director. Before Part 5, a lot of the show was super static, but by using unique character design and striking color, it grabs the viewer's attention and makes them pay attention. And this only got better once Part 5 started loosening up the animation and allowing for more movement, giving it a visual identity beyond the one it had before. These simple techniques can give a show such a rich visual depth that only serves to enhance the narrative. Earlier I talked about how Season 2 of One Punch Man was a poor adaptation and how it changed its visual identity. So let me talk about the exact opposite of that. A manga that had a poor visual identity that was improved by the anime. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba is a manga with a fantastic story, but unfortunately poor visual presentation. I mean, to say that it's poorly drawn would be a huge disservice to the artwork of Kiyoharu Gotoja, but his paneling and page layouts are cluttered and leave a lot to be desired. But the anime adaptation has a fantastic visual identity, with its liquid smooth animation and use of 3D CG to create realistic environments. All of this allowing the show to have a unique visual identity that allows it to stand out from its shonen contemporaries. All of this without even bringing up how fantastic the show's sound design is. Holy shit. Sound design, that'd be another great video. Focus. Demon Slayer's visuals make it one of the most visually distinct shonen anime of recent memory. At this point, I could spend like 80 hours talking about shows I like and how their visuals add to their appeal, but I don't have the patience to write that, and I don't want to torture my poor editor any more than I already have. The main point I want to make with this video is that anime visuals are a hell of a lot more important than people give them credit. So maybe look back at some of your favorite anime and try and see if you can identify what about its visual identity appealed to you, because anime visuals matter. Hey guys, welcome to the end of this video. Huge shout out to my editor, Saber. He's the one who does the hard part. If you liked the video, consider liking it. If you want to see more of me, because I plan on making a lot more, consider subscribing. And yeah, hope you have a nice day. Later.